On a recent episode of the Wayspotters podcast, my dad said this on purpose.
Well, the other thing I thought of, what if people go and try to change my descriptions, like my funny descriptions? Like, leave it alone. I wish I got notified, like, some of the little funny things I put in there. Like, someone's probably going to go, oh, we're just going to change this to church. No. Agents, trainers, keepers, pilots, eighth wallers, scouts, and our beloved explorers and wayfinders, welcome to episode number 209 of the Wayspotters podcast, also known as episode 1 of season 5. Wayspotters is brought to you by the good people at the Pokémon Professor Network and our good friends at Pickaxe. Today is Thursday, January 15th, 2026. I am Blame Jamal, and I am here with Professor Glaw, a.k.a. Chris. What's up, sir?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Addison had her final performance tonight.
Ooh, how'd that go?
And then we all went out to dinner. It went good. Went good, yeah. She, at the competition, I think I told you she won an award for best supporting actress in a cameo.
Nice.
In a cameo role. So she is officially an award-winning actress.
Nice. Good
but
for her.
Chris, guess what?
What?
It's season 5.
I know, it's wild. I can't believe it.
It's season 5. All right. So we have something prepared for you guys here. I think you guys will like it. Chris and I are going to read something, and then we're going to cut to our airplane bit, because I know that is a running bit for 4 seasons in a row now. So here we go. In the Wayfarer world, change never takes a day off. Nominations rise, approvals fall. And the guidelines, well, they evolve, whether we're ready or not.
This year feels different. Submissions are moving faster, the queues are shifting, and reviewers everywhere are noticing it.
So as season 5 begins, we're diving back into the chaos, tracking new patterns, breaking down big moves, and trying to make sense of whatever Niantic throws at us next.
Because every Wayspot tells a story. And this year, those stories are changing quicker than ever before.
So, explorers,
Season 5 starts now.
Hello, explorers, and welcome aboard Flight 1331 on Niantic Wayfarer Airlines, the only airline where upgrades are optional but supporting statements are mandatory. As we kick off Season 5, we want to thank all passengers who stuck with us through the turbulent past year.
The mild chaos of the Wayfarer updates, the company being bought and sold and split in half, and the occasional moment when nobody seemed entirely sure who approved what. Consistency is overrated. Adventure isn't. To keep today's flight running as smoothly as possible, your cockpit crew includes
Captain Chris, confidently insisting he knows exactly which team cleared our runway. We still don't believe him, but he said it with authority, so we're rolling with it.
Captain Jamal, who reminds everyone that if your supporting photo isn't perfectly aligned, the plane won't make an unscheduled landing until you fix it. He's wrong. Just ask Sir Amanda. She was there. But he's very committed.
And of course, we are joined by our virtual flight attendant, Emily, distributing emotional support neighborhood signs and quietly logging every issue. She won't solve them, but she'll track them.
Your devices should be logged into Wayfarer. If your nomination status appears unusual, uncertain, or vaguely cosmic, please remain calm. This is normal.
There are 4 emergency exits on this airplane, one maintained by whichever team posted a help desk update most recently, one maintained by whichever team meant to post an update, one maintained by an intern who accidentally found the login, and one that simply appears whenever viewers collectively manifest it.
Depending on your server load, your nearest exit may relocate without warning.
If you're seated in an exit row, you're responsible for explaining to your roommates why their HOA pool sign still isn't eligible.
If you prefer not to help, press the skip button. If the skip button doesn't work, please contact Emily. She won't fix it, but she'll log it with enthusiasm.
In your seat pocket, you'll find the Safety Information Card, curated lovingly by show historian Maddie G, who has detailed every questionable decision Wayfarer has ever made in a timeline spanning 14 pages and 2 annexes.
For legal reasons, only pages 1 to 3 are included. Also included, examples of coal,
Examples of technically eligible but spiritually confusing.
and a new flowchart titled, Does This Waste Spot Belong Here?
Spoiler. The answer is always maybe.
A reminder as we begin our journey,
You may not submit private residences.
K through 12 schools,
body parts, natural features,
or anything taken from a moving vehicle. Because, as Captain Chris likes to say,
It's not that far.
Get out of your car.
Meanwhile, our executive producer,
KatettheKonz would like to remind all passengers that any complaints may be submitted directly to her, where they will be placed into an efficiently labeled folder marked, Please stop submitting this.
the folder's large, alarmingly large.
Please fasten your seatbelts and return your upgrades to their upright position. We are currently 99% to the upgrade next and awaiting final clearance from whichever team handles the upgrades this week.
Estimated takeoff time? Anywhere from 3 days to 7 months.
We continue to be impressively consistent.
Thank you for flying Niantic
Wayfarer
Airlines.
Airlines. Whichever team owns the runway today, we're still your #1 flight crew for mapping, nominations, reviews, and occasional mild chaos.
Welcome to Season 5, Explorers.
And Chris,
enjoy the flight.
I'm glad that we are off and running in the air for Season 5. Wasn't that a cool little airplane bit we had there?
I love that bit every year. Every year it gets better, and I don't think that we could start off a season of Wayspotters without it.
We sure couldn't. But first, let's go to the news.
And now, the latest Niantic spatial and Scopely news from the Wayspotters podcast, presented by the Pokemon Professor Network.
I only got a couple of things. Apparently, the McDonald's sponsorship for Pogo appears to be over because all of the sponsored stops have gone poof. They just kind of disappeared overnight with very little fanfare, which is not surprising. Like, companies usually don't come out and announce and be like, hey, they stopped giving us money. So, they're still up in Canada. The one down the street from me is still a Pokestop, so.
Nice.
It's,
Yeah, they're all gone here in the good old U.S., so
Oh.
we're back to living like peasants without all of our extra stops and gyms.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of sponsored stuff out there anymore. Starbucks apparently is still a thing, but that's never been a thing up here. The only thing we have right now is the Circle K's and the McDonald's.
Right.
The other thing, there's a bunch of people on the forums who are like, hey, I just got a 30-day ban for absolutely nothing. What's going on? And the only word of advice I have for people out there is don't lie to Aaron, because he will call you out.
He's got all the knowledge. He's got all the data.
Because they have the receipts, and he will. I love it when he's just like, hey, I've shared this information with you in a DM. Please have a look. And then the thread just goes silent.
Silent.
Because
Yes.
he's like, oh, I've been caught. And then there was one guy who was like arguing with a bunch of people, and we're all like, no, you deserve this. And then he's like, well, I know I was doing this, and I know I was abusing this, but why 30 days? And then Niantic Aaron was like, well, since you asked, we caught you before. And then he was just like, he was admitting to stuff, and then Aaron was like, yeah, we don't have that on your record. And I'm like, bro, just stop. Because you're admitting to stuff that they
digging.
didn't catch you on.
Put the shovel down and stop.
You're lucky you only got a 30-day. So
Was that the one that I commented on that he was lucky he only got a 30-day,
Yes.
that it could have been worse? Was that
Yes.
that same one? I was
Yes.
like, I'm like, bro,
exactly.
what are you doing?
What are you
What are you doing?
So yeah, just be careful out there. Their Big Brother is always watching.
Yep. Speaking of Big Brother's always watching, we're kind of wondering right now what Big Brother is doing. So let's go ahead, Chris. Let's jump right into topic number 1.
This is Elf from Space, and I spot topic number 1.
Okay. So for topic number 1, for the first official show of 2026. Well, first, before we get there, Chris, Let's just go back to January 18th, 2022. That was the first ever Wayspotters podcast episode. Lachlan and I really didn't know what the heck we were doing. I was still trying to figure out the software. This is now like 4 softwares ago. But for anybody who's listening who remembers episode 1, there's only a handful of people out there that have heard episode 0. Which was unpublished. We sent it to some people for some sound checks and things like that, and it was awful. We figured it out. But by the time you guys hear this show is going to drop, Chris, on the 18th of January in 2026. So it will be 4 years to the day to when the very first episode of Wayspotters was aired. And we've been through all the nostalgic things, but I thought I'd call it out because it's like literally 4 years to the day. So
That's wild.
Topic number 1 this week, Chris, for the first official episode of season 5, is what I want to call the Great Speed Up. Why Wayfarer is suddenly moving faster, right? So you alluded to this a couple of shows ago, or it might even been last week. Everything moves so fast. Things are just moving through the queue faster. So I put down 3 bullet points for us to talk about, and just kind of speculate, because we don't get this information from Niantic. We don't get it from the employees or the ambassadors or anybody. So it's just you and me here with our virtual tinfoil hats on, kind of letting our eyes and ears do the talking, because we've been reviewing enough, especially you, that we've seen some of this. So here we go. Approvals have been happening in hours instead of weeks. And that's not an exaggeration. I've had stuff go through in Emily-like time. 26, 27 hours. And it's never been shorter than 3 or 4 days at its fastest. And this is community voting is going through in just over 26, 27 hours. And I don't know if you've seen that or if you've experienced that.
I haven't actually nominated anything new in quite a while. It's snowy and it's cold here, and I can't get myself outside to nominate it. And there's not a whole lot new out here anyway, right? So, but I do know I've had people message me who have nominated stuff in areas that I typically get reviews from, and they know that I've been doing a lot of reviews, and they've been messaging me and be like, hey, I nominated this 2 days ago and it's already approved. I nominated this yesterday and it's already been approved. One person was like, oh, I nominated it last night. I woke up, it was approved. Like, yeah. First of all, how long did you go to sleep? Second of all, holy crap. And I'm like, I remember I saw that one. I saw that one. I saw that one. And yeah, it's wild how quickly stuff is coming through now. And it's wild that it's not just because stuff in my area flies. Like, it's always flown. Right. Like, it just flies. Right. But I've been getting messages from a couple of people who were in areas that were typical dead zones, who are just like, this is the greatest thing ever. I nominated something 4 days ago and I already got a resolution back. And I'm like, this is good. This is good. Like, it's a fantastic time to be out there nominating stuff because you're getting stuff super quick.
Right. And the thing with this is, with the approvals coming so fast, Niantic is kind of cutting their own throat because they're totally devaluing their upgrades. I used to live on upgrades. I don't have to use upgrades now. If something goes through for me in 5 calendar days, that's a win. That's huge. 5 calendar days. So I don't know if I'll ever need to use an upgrade again. And plus, a lot of the stuff I've been nominating, I kind of want it to stay local. I don't necessarily want it to go out into the world. I kind of want it to stay where I'm at.
I completely get it. It's wild to hear you say that if stuff goes through in 5 days, you're happy, when, like, on this show, we've talked about some of your nominations having a birthday. Like, less than 2 years ago. So, yeah, it had a birthday. We had a party, candles, balloons, the whole bit. There's a point at this, like, we're at this point where upgrades were semi-useful for certain people. And if you had like something that you knew was a slam dunk and you wanted it through a couple of days earlier, sure, throw an upgrade on it. Like I upgraded a couple of things in the late summer because I know that there were other active Wayfarers in the area who had talked about going down to the park that I was doing. So I wanted to get everything in quick. But like I didn't need it. Like it took a day off of my thing or what, like who cares? It's a day. But now I would think that if you're going to upgrade something, you may slow it down.
Right.
Right.
Upgrades are, you're on vacation. Like, let's say you're up at your parents' place and you just want to make sure that something gets seen right away. You're only going to be in town 2 or 3 days and you don't know what the review flow is like, or, Haircross Boss went to Mexico. And he's like, hey, I'm going to upgrade this stuff so I can actually see it and spin it. And it worked. He nominated it. He got there on a Thursday and left on a Sunday. So he used his upgrade and it went it got approved on Friday and went live on Saturday. So he had Saturday and Sunday to spin it and send gifts from. So
that's wild. Like you landed a place, nominate something on a Thursday. It's in the game on Friday. You spun it on Saturday. Like that 2 years ago, like if you were to say to any Wayfarer on the planet, hey, in a year and a half, you'll be able to fly in on a Thursday and have that thing in the game and spun and have 14 gifts for all of your friends back home by the time you leave on Sunday. They'd have looked at you.
No one would have believed you.
They'd have looked at you and smacked you over the head with something and be like, clearly there's something wrong with you. Like you need to be checked out by a doctor.
Right. So, Chris, what do you think this means for the backlog? What do you think it means for the queues? And what do you think this means for explore behavior? I've got my thoughts, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
So I think like the backlog, I don't think there is a backlog, to be honest with you. I review every day now, most days. Like weekends, I usually don't review a whole lot, but like Monday to Friday, I can't review as much as I want to. Like I get stopped. And people are like, no, that's a cooldown. I'm like, no, I know what a cooldown looks like. A cooldown is like, yo, you've done something wrong. You can't review for this amount of time. Like it tells you. This is like, oh, you've been shadow cooldown. I'm like, that's not a thing. Shadow cooldowns are not a thing. This is just, I legitimately think that the queue in the area is empty.
You just run out.
It's empty, right? And then you're waiting for other things to pop up. And I honestly believe that's the thing because like I've done reviews and then for 45 minutes I get nothing and all of a sudden I get like another chunk and it's another chunk from the same area as my first chunk because like on the nearby I'm like I just reviewed to approve that. Now it's in the game. So now it's unlocked the next one in that area because you can only have it locks them, right? Like you get geo blocked. And it's just like I get 5 or 6 in a row and be like, I just approved that one, I just approved that one, I just approved. So it's like it's literally I had to wait for the next wave to get ungeo blocked to give me more stuff to review. I get maybe 40 a day. Maybe.
There's a way around that, right? Should we talk about that?
Probably not. DM me later.
All right. Yeah, there's a way to get around that geo block.
That's probably something that we should discuss offline before we start talking about it on the podcast.
Yes.
And it's my sanity filter.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I think the backlog and the queues, I think what you said, I can't add anything to it. You nailed it 100%. The part of this I wanted to talk about was explore behavior. And part of the reason why I kind of clued into this is what you've been saying. So you've been saying the recon people are going to take their ball and go home. They've been threatening it. And we're like, okay, whatever, tie, you know, but I think they've done it. So I think explore behavior has changed. Now, I was trying to explain this to someone at work and they don't know anything about Pogo. They don't know anything about Wayfarer, but I was like, I just need to say this because I need to hear myself say it once. So the first time I'm saying it's not on the podcast.
Right.
But part of me, Chris, doesn't believe that explore behavior has changed. I think the people that are reviewing are exhibiting the same behaviors they've always done. We just don't have the people who are doing the contrary. Does that make sense? Would you agree with that? I think it's changed a little bit, but I think these people are doing the same thing that they were doing. They just don't have the blocker in front of them.
I don't disagree. I think that it's not necessarily explorer behavior that's changed. I think that there is a certain population of Pogo Wayfarer who had stepped away, who are back now. Because it's like when you're in high school and your bully graduates, you all of a sudden feel more empowered to go. You feel more comfortable participating in the space. You're liberated, yes. You feel more liberated in the space that you were existing before, but now you don't have to worry about that guy being around every corner. You don't have to worry about the gatekeepers around the corner who are just going to squash down your nominations. So I think that there are more people who are active, and I think that's counterbalancing the people who have left. And that's why we're seeing the queues go so quickly. It's because we've net zeroed the number of people. We just have more people who are affluent to being like-minded to everybody else.
Friendlier to the mission.
Friendlier to the mission.
Yeah.
We need that on a t-shirt.
So, yeah, I know, right? I also think that people hear rumors at raid day or whatever, or they see it that, hey, stuff is getting approved really quick, and people are like, oh. And they see that. And it's kind of brought some people back to the queues, to reviews, and to nominations because they're like, oh, stuff is going through. They nominate something, they see that it's gone through, and they're like, wow, this would have never gone through before. And I think that behavior brings people back to the game, to Wayfarer, to both sides of it, nominating and reviewing. I know that, was it 3-4 weeks ago? I messaged you on Discord, in our private Discord, and I'm like, dude, something's going on. Remember when I sent you those screenshots?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, something's going on. And then it was a couple days later. I'm like, dude, something's going on. This is just flying through. I don't know what's going on. And so then I just kept nominating. And remember, I was like, I'm going to do this for science. And the science project worked. So I started telling the locals, now would be a good time for you to jump in and do 25 reviews a day. Or now would be a good time for you to go nominate a few things because things are moving through the queue pretty quickly, pretty judiciously. Mm. And then the next week at Raid Hour, people were like, hey, I nominated something Thursday night, Friday morning, and by Tuesday, it's on the map. And I'm like, yeah, something's going on. And they're like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't tell me nothing. But I think Explorer behavior is changing to where we don't have as many people out there that are super map purists, and I'm not throwing shade at map purists because I know you're a map purist, but we don't have people out there going, you know what, this is too close to PRP, or this is this, or this is that, where in a new normal, an old normal, that wouldn't go through, but now in the new normal it is. And I think you're right, Chris. I think you're very intelligent. You process things quickly and thoroughly. That we have a more Pogo friendly reviewer base right now, and they are looking at things through the lens of, I want something in Pokemon Go versus I want something on the map that is good for the map.
Yep.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of that in topic number 2, but that's what I wanted to talk about. And I have another theory, but I think I'm right. I think we just have the mix right now is more of leaning towards, if it's good enough, I'll put it through, versus it's got to be perfect, no errors, no mispunctuation, no miscapitalization, no pictures 7 degrees off, no shade, no, none of that of things that we've seen. I think people are going, yeah, this deserves to be in the game.
I think there's a lot of things that died in the gray before that are now living in the gray.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the difference. I think the difference is that there are the people who voted all that stuff down that was kind of like, stuff that if it gets on the map, Niantic won't remove it. That's the kind of gray that I'm talking about. It's that more of that is finding its way onto the map than was before.
And case in point, so in one of our Discord channels, I've been showing Chris my nominations that have been rejected several times over the years.
Several is a good word.
You guys have to watch this on YouTube or on Spotify to see Chris's face because, I'm going to get Chris to come up with a list of things that I do that he doesn't appreciate. We talked about it today. No, but on a serious note, yeah, I have been renominating things that have been rejected over the years. Like we're talking 2020, 2021, 2022, been rejected 3, 4, 5 times, been rejected. And I spruce it up, rewrite the nomination and send it in and bam. Like that little free library that I know you just really didn't like.
I don't like that one. I don't like that one.
I sent it through. I sent it through. That was the one that came back in 27 hours. Community voted in 27 hours. Mm-hmm. So, my other theory, Chris, is that Niantic is testing something behind the scenes. That's my other theory.
I mean, I can't rule that out. It could be, but like what? Are they testing Emily approvals again? And not...
You want to know my tinfoil hat theory?
Yes, I do.
Like my super tinfoil hat theory. Okay. Here's my tinfoil hat theory. And whoever is listening that knows the answer to this is probably going, oh my God, here he goes again. My tinfoil hat theory is that Emily is turned on in the background. They're testing Emily in the background with a certain segment of Wayspots. But then what they're doing is they're saying, okay, Emily would give this a thumbs up. They're taking that subset that Emily would thumbs up and they're putting it in community voting. But because Emily's already thumbs it up or thumbs it down, it needs less votes to get over the line. So my little free library, Emily said, yeah, preliminary thumbs up. They throw it in community voting. After 6-8 hours of voting, it's trending towards being approved. So they put it in. So my theory is they're using the community votes on Emily approvals or disapprovals to say, yes, the community is validating what Emily is thinking or not validating it as a way of kind of an A/B test. Because I don't see any other way you can get something through community voting that quickly. Into queue, into voting, and to a decision, when I think we both agree that the number of Wayfarers voting is probably less than it was in May.
Yeah.
So that's my...
Maybe.
That's my theory, is that Emily is... I don't know. What do you think?
That's a good one. That makes a lot more sense than what that I was going to say. I was going to say that they've got her turned on in the background and they're just calling it community voting. They just changed the verbiage of the email to say, it used to say, oh, our team has said, that's how you knew it was Emily approval. Now they've just said, they've popped that out and put, no, the community has voted and said yes. And they're just calling Emily the community. But that makes sense. Right. That if they were just to say, all right, we're going to give Emily approval powers, but we're not going to give her ultimate approval powers. We're just going to give Emily 2 votes, 3 votes instead of the regular one. And they're just going to throw it out into the community. So it just needs however many more.
However many votes.
We'll never know that number. I think that we can kind of speculate based on anecdotal data how much that number is, but we'll never know the number for real. But it makes sense. Like, it makes sense that stuff is going through this quickly, that maybe Emily's got a hand in it. And I don't think that that's something that Niantic will ever admit to.
No. They shouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't want them to.
Not. Nope.
I wouldn't want them to.
Nope.
Yeah.
If
Even nosy old me, there's some things that I don't need to know.
yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, that's one of those things that's better left in the Wayfarer annals, locked behind a door, because I think it's good though. Because like if stuff's flying through this quickly, it's just going to encourage people to go out there and do more. Right? Like we all know how discouraging it was to nominate something and then completely forget that you did it. And then it just languishes in your contributions page for months.
Right.
And all those people who are just like, in that 6 months since you nominated it, 2 or 3 other people probably nominated it too, right? So you're just... It was compounding the issue, but now we don't have that, because if something gets built, someone's going to nominate it, and it's going to be on the map like 2 days later. And then someone else comes across and goes, "Oh man, someone beat me! I didn't even know that was here."
All right,
cool, right? Not wasting your nominations on stuff that somebody else did half a year before you.
Absolutely. Oh, and another thing, that bug is still in the game, where if you nominate through Wayfarer's website, it does not put your name on the nomination if it gets accepted.
Right.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's still there.
But that to me makes sense. Like, I went into this not expecting my web submissions to have my name in Pogo, because it wasn't done in Pogo. It was like the whole Ingress thing. If you did it in Ingress, you wouldn't get the name in Pogo. So I knew that, and they were like, "Oh, that's a bug." And I'm like, so that means that you thought about it before, which I never would have. So like, that's low-key a little bit impressive that they had considered that, and now it's not working. But like, oh, okay, cool. But like, I don't care that much. Like, I want my name on stuff, but like, if I do it through the web, I did it understanding that my name would not be on it, right? So
can I throw one more conspiracy type thing at you? And I haven't mentioned this to you in Discord at all. I've been kind of holding on to this one. I haven't mentioned it to anybody. I sneakily think, and tell me if you think I'm off base, that the web submissions are getting pushed to the front of the line. Because for science, I've been nominating one in Pogo and one on the web. One in Pogo and one on the web. The one that I nominate on the web always goes through first. And it just could be a long series of coincidences, but the web ones seem to go through faster. And I notice, Chris, when I sit down to review, if I see any web submissions, they're always in the first 15 or 20 that I do. And the way you notice is there's multiple pictures at the bottom, and you can kind of, like, if I'm doing a long review session, I always get a bulk of the web submissions in the first handful of ones I do versus ones I do 30 minutes later into the session. So that's my other hot take conspiracy, is that the Wayfarer submissions are being, I don't want to say prioritized, but pushed to the front. So when someone first starts to review, they're going to see the web submissions, and thus they're going to get either approved or denied faster. So I don't know if you've noticed that, but when you do review, see if you see that. It could just be a Jamal thing. And if you notice when you nominate something through the web, see if that comes back a lot faster than when it goes through Pogo.
Interesting. I hadn't noticed that, but I hadn't really been paying attention to it. And I'm trying to remember. Like, I don't remember seeing a whole lot of that web submission stuff towards the end of when I was reviewing. So you might be onto something here. I'm going to do a bunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pay attention to that.
And again, it could just be another set of coincidences that maybe it's because I was looking for web submissions when I first started, and then later on in the review, I'm not really paying attention. But, you know, when you see a pattern all of a sudden, like, you know, you're it's like the beautiful mind, like all the math equations start to just line up and it just equals 1, and you're like, I got it. So I don't know. It would make sense. And here's the thing. Think of it this way, Chris. It would make sense if you're nominating directly through Wayfarer for it to be available, because it doesn't have to go through Pogo to get to Wayfarer. It goes right through Wayfarer. It would make sense that would bubble up to the front because it goes through their native. I'm just going to call it an app. It's a website, but you get my point.
Mm-hmm.
It's uploaded directly to Wayfarer and not through a third party, and the third party being the Pogo app.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you might be onto something here.
I don't know. If you guys are listening to this, check it and see if you see the same thing that I see, and let us know. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean a hill of beans. There's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. But I probably will nominate a few more through Wayfarer. The only issue with that is if I'm not at home, my work computer is locked down. I can't do anything game related on my work computer. And I don't take my home computer to work. So if I'm here at the home office, it's got to be in the radius for me to do it, unless I take my laptop somewhere else and let it grab the location and then nominate it. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to keep my eye on it.
Yeah, I got a bunch. I got like 15 things that I probably won't do until the spring. Because they're on the way up to my parents' place. But I gotta find some stuff local around here to nominate, because I want to test this.
Yeah.
Make a note.
So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm onto something. So I don't know. But let's go ahead and jump into topic number 2.
I wonder what topic number 2 is going to be.
Okay, so for topic number 2, building off of what Chris and I talked about in topic number 1, the quality question. So we know that approvals are going through faster, but are faster approvals still accurate? So are reviewers being more lenient or something else? And is that a good thing? I think I know your answer, but I want you to articulate it for us. Do you think reviewers are being more lenient, and is that a good thing?
I think absolutely they're being more lenient, and I don't think it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's just a thing. I think this is just the way the Wayfarer is going to be now. And I'm, as much as I am a map purist, I've gotten to the point in my Wayfarer life where if I see things on the map that I kind of go, I wouldn't have voted to approve that. I don't think that's eligible. It doesn't bother me anymore. Like it used to. Like I used to get annoyed. Be like, man, how did that? Right. I remember getting that and I remember rejecting it. Why is it there? And then like I'd have to train my brain to be like, Chris, you're not the only one reviewing. Other people have a say too. Just because you voted no doesn't mean that they kiboshed it, right? So I'm at the point now where I just kind of look at stuff and go, all right, that's fine. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt the people around it. It's not ineligible per se.
Right. Niantic
doesn't. And here's the thing. Niantic doesn't care to remove it. Why should I? Why should anybody else? Like if people are getting stuff on the map and then people are going and saying, Niantic, look. And they go, cool, and why are you yelling at Niantic? Like, no, look, you're grabbing Niantic by the face and you're going, look. And they're going, okay, what am I looking at? I have better things to do with my time, right? So I think that we're going to see more of that. You're going to see more people who are more lenient and more agreeable with things that are getting nominated just because they want it to be on their game board. And Niantic's going to look at it and go, all right, does it meet like removal criteria? No? Then don't bother me with it. Right? And I think, honestly, hot take here, I think this is by design.
Okay. That is a hot take.
I honestly think this is by design because Scopely, like you've been saying this since they first announced this, Scopely wants more stuff on the map. And Wayfarer, I think, is more of a means to an end than it was, and this is funny that I'm saying this, that more of a means to an end than it was with Niantic, but that end is just completely different. Like with Niantic, it was they were building something that was not
Right.
related to the games. They were building a database that they could sell.
Yes.
Whereas Scopely is building a map with points of interest that they could use for games.
And then they can monetize.
And then they can monetize at some point to get their $3.5 bajillion back.
Right. Well, I'll give you an example. So we've brought this up, got like 4 weeks in a row now. And I know Fire Dancer is probably going, Jamal, stop talking about it. But the neighborhood sign that I got approved in Fire Dancer's neighborhood turned into a gym.
Oh.
It turned into a gym. And she has children, little kids that play the game, and she plays the game also. And there's children in her neighborhood that play the game, and they're loving it. They're buying raid passes, right? They're doing every raid that pops up in that gym because they can reach it from their neighborhood. And the parents are all buying raid passes, and, they're having a blast. And that's not uncommon to other places that, those of us have gotten stuff approved. And there's a couple neighborhoods over from me that has 2 gyms and 3 stops. And the kids that are too young to come down to our park for a raid hour, or their parents don't want to bring them, they all go meet there, and the kids do their free raid, and then their parents buy them a raid pass. Every week they use their daily, and if they do it right, you can get 2 free. You know how you can do the 2 for 1. And I've had a couple of the parents who have said, hey, when I can't come to the park, me and my kid will, do it at the community center. Thank you for helping getting that set up, because now I still get to play, but they're spending money that they wouldn't have brought their kid to the park and bought the kid 8 raid passes to do them all, but they'll buy them 1. They'll put $5 in the account, and, they'll buy the 3-pack or whatever. So those types of things are generating revenue for Scopely, and it's on the backs of us doing free labor. Now, any $1 or $2 they make is $1 or $2 more than they had, right? If you want to give me a quarter every day, it might only be a quarter, but at the end of the year, I'm going to have some dough, so I'll take it.
Do you want to know? So this is a little bit off topic. Do you want to know my really, really super hot take about neighborhood signs that I just came up with like 2 days ago?
Yeah, tell me. I'm dying to hear.
When you drive into a town, it says, welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina. That sign's eligible, right?
Yes, it is.
What's the difference?
You're not wrong.
It's a sign.
You're not wrong.
Welcoming you to an area.
Yeah.
Like, literally,
you're not wrong at all.
I had this epiphany when I was looking at when I was doing reviews, and I clicked on one. It was a neighborhood sign. I'm like, oh man, it's another neighborhood sign. And I'm just like, the one before it was a welcome to the town sign. And I'm like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's literally the exact same thing. I get it. One's a city and another one's a community, but what is a city? It's a city made up of communities. A city is
it's a group of
large
communities.
area made up of littler areas. So that sign is just for that littler area. I know littler's not a word. I apologize.
I know what you mean. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I'm just like, the listeners are probably like, claw, littler's not a word. Smaller area. And it's just like, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, we're all arguing that they're not eligible. Like, are they? I think that they are. Like, it's just like, people don't. What is it? What is a city sign? Like, what are the 3 categories does it fit? Can you exercise that?
Yeah.
No. Is it a great place to be social? No. Is it a great place for exploration? No. It's a giant blue sign. That's boring as hell. I would argue that neighborhood signs, a lot of them are way more interested in that the welcome to Oshawa sign. Yeah. That's just one shade of blue.
For sure.
And sorry, I'm going to go on a rant here.
No. That's fine. No, I love it.
In years did I ever think that I would be on this side of that. But like, I don't know what the difference is.
You know what I love about what just happened here is something that we've talked about offline. Wayfarer changes, man. The criteria has got to be flexible, because if you pull up criteria from 2021, that's not the way things work anymore. I have always said the criteria has to move with the people, and it's got to move with the game.
Yep.
And remember when pools were all the rage? I mean, it's just things are going to ebb and flow. But I really think that if you're Scopely and you're smart and you want to generate revenue, you need neighborhood signs to be eligible, because that's going to unlock people who live in that neighborhood who will fight and battle at that gym and raid at that gym because they don't have to go anywhere.
Yep.
Now, not all of them are going to be gyms, but think about, I'm sure there are some smart people at Scopely / Niantic / whatever who have thought, hey, we are generating revenue from this neighborhood sign. Oh, look at this. Yes, look at you.
So-
Look at this.
While you were talking, I was like, I bet you, while Jamal's talking, I could log into Wayfarer, do a couple of reviews, and get a neighborhood sign. First one. So here's my point.
Yep.
This is my point. Not to cut you off, but this is my point. This is a neighborhood sign. It is on a circular stone base. So there's little stone bricks, and it makes a little circle. There's some flowers in it. It's got 2 bushes on either side, and it says Harper Park Hamlin, Edgewood Park Estates, Inc. This is a neighborhood sign. Okay. People are like, that's not eligible. But if this was Harker Park Hamlin City, if that was a city or a town, that would be eligible.
Yes.
What is the difference? The difference is one's bigger than the other. That's it. That is legitimately it. I dare anybody to tell me any different. That worked out so well.
Yeah, it did. It did. We didn't even plan that. But dude, this is why I love the podcast, because we are having conversations that we probably wouldn't have had without flushing this out week over week. And hopefully the listeners and the viewers are having these same conversations in their circles. And we are giving them some thinking points and some talking points, whether they agree with this or they think that we're blubbering idiots, which someone said I was. I might be. Who knows? But, you know, I think it's good because you can talk about these things. As I shared with you, I was told today that I didn't care about criteria. And I was told, I don't remember the other thing I was told. It wasn't so nice. That I was conflating something with something. Anyhow, I was told that by the way that I talk about things and the way that I review, that I don't care about criteria. And what I think the person or the people, because it was more than one person, was saying is that I am changing with Wayfarer, with the game, and I'm not remaining stagnant in the way things were May of 2023. Again, I could be wrong. I reserve the right to be 100% wrong, but I think I am seeing what's before my eyes, and I'm adapting the way in which my behavior is pushing me in that direction. So things that I might have approved or denied in the past, I'm voting differently now because I'm seeing it with the criteria. I got the criteria here. Here's the criteria. But I'm not being held captive to words on a paper. I'm adapting with the game. Does that make, I don't want it to sound like a cop out, but does that make sense to you?
Don't hate the player, hate the game. And that's it. Like, it's we've gotten to a point, and I think that Wayfarer has gotten to a point where people are looking at it and going, okay, this doesn't meet any of the rejection criteria. I'm going to give it a shot. And if it gets through, it gets through. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And a lot of this stuff is getting through. And people are getting mad about it and be like, why?
Right.
Because it doesn't fit inside your little box of what you think is eligible and what you think is not eligible. And like, you can put your spin on anything that you want. Neighborhood signs is the perfect example, because there's still a very stringent group of people who are just like, no, they are not eligible. They do not meet any of the criteria. And I think the shift is people are just like, yeah, but it does. Because
how about now?
it's good. It's a good place to be social, and I'm one of those people. I think that I'm now team neighborhood sign, right? And like 6 months ago, I was team what the heck no. But like it's not because I'm shifting just because more people are say that it's eligible, so I'm gonna just go follow the crowd and go whatever. Like I've reevaluated my position, and I think a lot of people are reevaluating their position and realizing that there's this whole world out there full of stuff that fits in that little bubble that exists in the middle of the criteria that could kind of fit somewhere, and people are kind of fitting it in, and people need to realize that just because you do not like it doesn't mean that it's not correct. And if Niantic looks at it and says, I don't care enough to remove it, you're wrong.
Well, Chris, there's a whole nother side to it also. No, you're right, but there's a whole nother side to it. And this is my other bullet point is in terms of consistency. So here's the other part. What is the one thing we've always told new Wayfinders? Just because it's on the map doesn't mean that your thing can be on the map, right?
Yep.
This has got to be one of the most complicated games for someone new to play. Oh wow, look, I see this on the map. Now, don't look at the map. Just don't. I see this in my reviews all the time. I see it in the drop down. There's so many things that we tell people you can't do because things have kind of ebbed and flows. When you talk about removal criteria, I think the big elephant in the room is appeals.
Yeah.
Now, again, you hate some of the things. Hate's a strong word. You dislike some of the things I do. And there's some things that I come across in the field and I say, I'm going to get this approved, but I'm going to get this approved on appeal. This is not going to go through normally. I'm going to have to nominate it. It's going to have to get rejected. And then Niantic is going to say yes. And then I'm going to post it somewhere and take a victory lap because I'm that damn petty. And I know I'm that damn petty. You don't have to say it. I'm self-aware enough to know that I am that damn petty that people are going to disapprove it and Niantic is going to add it on appeal. So that makes it really hard in terms of consistency because Niantic is not going to remove it from the map. Niantic is going to add it onto the map via appeal, but the community is saying no. Or if you upgrade it, they're saying no. So it's like, where are we?
Yeah.
And then you might get an appeals reviewer that says no, and then you're stubborn Jamal and you wait a week and you reappeal it and it goes through the second time. So there's a few people on the WDD and on the forums and in our Discord that would just love some bottom basement consistency.
Yeah.
And say, this criteria should be followed. This criteria should be not. If the community gets it wrong, use your appeal in this way. And I hate to use the phrase, but just kind of dumb things down a little bit. We might have 8 pages of criteria and we need 3.
Yeah.
Get to that more of a black and white type of situation, even though I love the gray. The way things are currently is really hard to try to onboard new people and try to tell them what is a good nomination or not, because what's a good nomination in Charlotte, and we've had this conversation, might not be a good nomination in Oshawa. You review in Charlotte and you see some of the things that get nominated, and those things go through. They fly through, but that would never fly in your area. And I've said on this show, I think Wayfarer needs to be local. I think local rules should dominate what happens, but that is tough for a live service global game.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. And I think that we were talking about this with Ken. He's like, oh, he's showing us something, and he's like, oh, we're going to review this. And you helped him through it, and we kind of decided on what he should do. And then he's like, should I upgrade this? And we're like, nah, not in a million years should you ever upgrade that.
Yeah,
No,
don't touch the upgrade button.
If you upgrade it, you might as well click the reject button yourself, because you are toasting yourself.
Right.
And I think that's just kind of the way that it is. I'm curious whether or not that thinking is correct anymore, though, given the way that Wayfarer is going.
Right.
I don't know. But I like we talked about at the beginning of the show, I don't think that it's worth it, though. Like, he's going to get that resolution inside a week.
Yeah.
So,
and if it doesn't get approved, it'll get approved on appeal because it won't get removed. So sometimes I wish I could go straight to the appeal.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing with appeals too. Like, appeals feel like sometimes you're fighting a losing battle with appeals. Because if it's too borderline, they're gonna say no. Right? This is what I've noticed. But if it's more of a slam dunk, then yeah, absolutely, you're gonna get it in. And like, people are just like, oh well, if you got it approved on appeal, that doesn't mean that it's eligible. But like, Niantic's the one that approved it.
It's my point.
It's their map.
And
like, did you forget
people
that?
And people will yell from the top of a mountain that it's not, generating case law. Like in the American court system, you lose a case, it goes to the appeals court. The appeals court says this is now the new rule. So every case that comes after is following that standard. And people are saying, no, it's an individual basis. This has nothing to do with the ecosystem. It's for that review only. But I'm like, is it though? Or should it be?
Especially when it happens multiple times. Like, in the court of law, there's like, if a judge does something, congratulations, you just set a precedent.
Yes.
Right? And I get like because appeals can be hit and miss sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you get the same thing appealed by multiple people getting the same result, that's a precedent. That is Niantic saying this is eligible.
Yes.
Like, you can not like it all day long. It's their map.
Right.
If you want to yell at them for their map, go right ahead. It's like standing out front of a business. It's like standing out front of Cracker Barrel and saying, I don't like what you did with your logo. But it's Cracker Barrel caved, right? So maybe that's a bad example.
Right.
But
I know what you mean.
If you're like, I don't like that you painted your restaurant blue, the restaurant owner's gonna be like, cool. Are you gonna come in and eat or no? Because like, I don't care.
Yeah,
really. Unless like everyone says, hey, we all don't like that it's blue, and there have been cases when people are just like, we don't necessarily agree with this, and Niantic's been like, okay, we don't like it, but maybe we're gonna kind of change a little bit and tweak a little bit of stuff just because, enough people have said that they're not comfortable with this. But it's their map. Like, if they say something can't go on it, it can't go on it. If they say something can go on it, it can go on it. If they say something gets to stay, it gets to stay. Like, you can sit there and boo-hoo about it all day long. At
the end of the day, Chris, it's their map. And at the end of the day, I feel like you're only hurting your locals. So, last thing I'll say on this. Charlotte, North Carolina is becoming a really, really good place to play the game because we have a lot of Pokéstops. We have a lot of gyms. We have a lot of really smart people that are placing things strategically. And I don't mean manipulating, but I mean, what's a meters between friends? If the statue is here, here's the big part of the statue, the big, square part of the statue. There's a more preferred corner and there's a least preferred corner. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to place the pin on the more preferred corner for the game. I'm still putting it on the object, but there's a lot of people in Charlotte that have gotten smart, and I can't take credit for it because I don't talk to everybody in Charlotte. But there's a lot of people in Charlotte that are making Charlotte a premier place to play the game, and we are filling up our S14s. And just by looking on the forum, there's a lot of places that I think are hurting their local area by being overly picky and by doing things a certain way that's not making their city a good place to play. So I've kind of butt out of those conversations because, I will probably never go to Cedar Rapids, South Dakota. I'll probably never go to, I was going to say Altoona, Pennsylvania, but I've been there. But you get my point. Gainesville, Florida, places I'll probably never go and play. So if that's what you want to do in your city, you got it. Stay out of my city. We got it the way that we want it. We're following the criteria. So, last question before we get on to our next segment. Does speed compromise quality or does it reveal better systems? What do you think about that?
I mean, it can. I think if people are going through and just clicking yes on everything and you get enough people who are just doing that, then 100% it'll compromise quality. I don't see it being an issue, though. Because I think there are enough people out there who will gatekeep's the wrong word. Balance out the system enough to keep the absolute trash off the map and keep the people who just want to throw everything against the wall. And I think Emily is good enough at picking out the slop that I don't think it'll ever be an issue, because I think that people are upset. People post all the time, oh, Emily rejected this, Emily rejected that, and we're like, okay, I mean, at 100% that should be a slam dunk. Emily shouldn't have rejected that, but there's too many trees in your picture. It is the way it is.
Yes.
Right? And it's just, I think that they've got Emily tuned to reject more than she probably should, and I am okay with that.
Me too.
Because
you have 40 nominations.
Right.
Clean it up and renominate it.
Or just appeal it. Right? And it's appeal it, and then Niantic will go, yeah, that's a slam dunk. Here you go. You get it in. And like I'm more apt to do that because I don't like having rejections on my contributions page, whereas I know you don't care. And there's a lot of people out there who just like, I have 40, I'm just gonna throw it against the wall again with a better picture, and then it goes through. But I don't think it'll be an issue. I think that it will test Emily to her limits, but I think at the end of the day, everything's going to fly through and we're going to get stuff on the map that gets on the map. And like, I had that thing removed off my parking lot. It's gone now. Remember that thing that I was telling you? Like there's
I do. Yeah, I do remember.
That hasn't been there. So it's funny. There's a gazebo at my work that is currently a Pokéstop because I nominated it. It used to be in the other corner of the parking lot and filled with salt. It was just like a little thing that they just dumped the salt in for the parking lot. Somebody took a picture of it and nominated it a week ago. But the gazebo that I nominated is the same one that used to be in that corner. They just moved it and repurposed it so now people can sit underneath it. It's literally the exact same structure. So I reported it and now it's gone. It's like stuff like that.
Yep.
That's if people are faking stuff and it gets through, it's going to get reported and removed.
Right. Yep.
Oh, well. Right.
I will never forget Spacebar's face in reaction when we had him on the show, and I was telling him how I nominate things multiple times. He's like, you can do that? I'm like, oh, bro, let me show you my contributions page. And I remember seeing your face just get flushed when you saw I had like 5 rejections for the same thing and then 1 approval. And you're like, your numbers. I'm like, what did the LA Rams say a few years ago? F them picks. You know,
picks, yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about my percentages. Once I realized that my percentage didn't matter to anybody but myself, you know, I'm like, there's no leaderboard for this. There's, you know, I'm only accountable to myself. You know, it shows up on there and people are like, my percentage is 76. And I'm like, mine's a lot lower than 76 and I have a lot more things on the map. And to me, that's my bar. That's my litmus test, is how many things do I have on the map? Did it take me 6 times to get through. And I know I can see like the blood pressure in your face rising now. I can see it because you were like, I want you're like, you're still mad about that one that keeps you from being 100%. Like, I know it. Like, that's you. That and I love that about you. That's you. Me, the other way, I'm like, I'm going to hit you with this blunt hammer until you bow to my will. No, not really, but Spacebar's face was like, you can do that? I'm like, bro, let me show you some stuff. I showed us some stuff that day. He's seen some things now.
Yeah. I made that face because I thought of a joke, and I'm going to tell this joke, and I need you to understand that I love you like a brother while I make this joke. It makes sense that you don't care about your numbers. You're a Panthers fan. They finished 8-9 and made the playoffs, and almost won.
They beat the Rams.
They almost beat the Rams. They should have beat the Rams.
We had the game won. I was there. That's why my voice is still hoarse. I was screaming at the game. Oh, just wait till next year. We got something for everybody next year. But yeah,
I think your division should be really, really scared of the Panthers next year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we got something for them boys next year. Got something for them.
But it's just
all right. Speaking of something,
they had a losing record and they hosted a playoff game. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. It's not the first time in NFL history it's happened. Hey, we'll take it. We had a home playoff game, and a lot of people did not. So it's all good.
Niners didn't.
All right. So let's do this, Chris. Let's do this. We had like 6 weeks of the debate nobody asked for. We're not going to wear it out. We've got some good topics. I want to go to an old school favorite. So let's play the jingle for One's Gotta Go.
One's gotta go. One gotta go. One gotta go, y'all. One gotta go. Wait, one gotta go. Yeah, this one gotta go. One's gotta go. One gotta go. One's gotta go. One gotta go. 4 items to be on the list, but one gotta go.
All right. So one's got to go this week. You guys haven't forgotten. It hasn't been that long. You guys remember how this goes. So in the upper left-hand corner, we have bacon and sausage. In the upper right-hand corner, we have eggs. However you want them, poached, scrambled, over easy, over medium, eggs. In the lower left-hand corner, we have pancakes and waffles. And in the lower right-hand corner, Chris, we have cereal. So if you haven't figured this out, this is a breakfast-themed One's Gotta Go. Now, what I need to know from you, Chris, is which one has to go forever from your breakfast table?
Oof. Wow. Okay, let's just knock off the easy ones off the top. Bacon, sausage, gotta stay. I can't live without my bacon. I remember my twins are bacon fiends. If like we wake up one morning and if they wake up and I'm in the kitchen making breakfast, they just go absolutely bonkers because they know bacon's involved. They're just like, bacon. I saw a story on my Facebook the other day. I think they were like 3 or 4, barely learned how to walk. I was in the kitchen making myself a bacon sandwich, like in the middle of the day for lunch or something like that. And I heard giggling behind me. So I turned around and my daughter ran around me while I was turning around, grabbed 2 pieces of bacon off my plate and ran away. So I turned back around to finish making my sandwich. My bacon was gone. Yeah, she stole.
That was a coordinated effort there.
It was 100%. She knew exactly what she was doing. So bacon's got to stay. Waffles, pancakes, I can't. They have to stay. I make killer pancakes and waffles. Killer. Right from scratch. I love it. Great recipe. It's kind of something that I tinkered with over the years. So it's down between eggs and cereal. Now I'm going to go in probably a little bit of a controversial direction here and keep cereal because I every morning get up, have a coffee, have a bowl of cereal. That's just the way that I start my day every day. And it's just the thing that I eat because it's easy. It's quick. It's easy. It's 2 things. You pour in the cereal, you pour in the milk, and off you go. And there's just so many different brands out there that I could never eat the same bowl of cereal like day to day for like a whole month in my house sometimes. So it's got to stay. For me, it's eggs. I've never been a big egg guy. I make some pretty good eggs, but like I have to be in the mood. And if I have eggs once or twice in a week, then like I'm off eggs for 2 weeks. I just can't. So for me, it's eggs. For me, it's eggs. It's gotta go.
All right. I like the way you broke it down. And I'm a similar vein also. And I think it's a dad thing. There's something about cooking bacon and sausage, bacon and or sausage as a dad in the morning on a Saturday or a Sunday. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is. That's my number one. My number two is also pancakes or waffles. Now, we can have a separate discussion on a separate show as to what is the preferred breakfast, whether it is pancakes or whether it is waffles. There is a answer. There's a right answer and a wrong answer. We don't need to get into it today, but we will have that conversation later down the road. For me, God, I hate to be kind of just kind of a copy and paste, but for the longest time, it was both of these had to go, because the older I get, the more lactose intolerant I get. And, eggs and milk kind of hurt the old tummy and kind of make me kind of grumbly and not fun to be around for the rest of the day. So for a while, it was both until I got turned on to oat milk and almond milk in my cereal. Now, it doesn't taste the same. You have to get used to it. And you're not eating Fruity Pebbles with almond milk. Let's just put that out there. That just you're doing your Raisin Brans, your Cheerios. You're not doing anything fancy with almond milk or skim milk or any of that. Lactose free milk. My kids call it old man milk. It's the lactose free milk that's in the fridge. But eggs, and me, I like eggs. I really, really like eggs. They just don't agree with me. And if I'm out and I get like a breakfast sandwich that's like bacon and eggs and cheese, I have to think to myself, what am I doing in the next 4 to 5 hours?
Yeah.
If the answer is nothing, then I'll eat it. If we're out running errands or I got to be at a school thing, nah, dog, I can't do it. So I have to consciously think, what does the rest of my day look like? And is it worth it to eat these eggs? So for me, eggs has got to go. It's not because I don't like them. It's because they don't like me. Is that fair?
Yep. Nope. 100%. Let me tell you this. While the twins were growing up and while my kids were growing up, one or two of my kids were pretty lactose intolerant. So we had nothing but oat milk in my fridge for a while. And my kids, Fruity Pebbles, Chocolate Pebbles, Fruit Loops, it doesn't matter. They oat milk into it. They don't care. Right. So I got used to it. I do the same thing. We have oat milks for my cereal. Yeah. And you're right. It does take a little bit of getting used to. I think we had almond milk. It's not bad. It's a bit nutty, but it's not bad. Like you get used to it.
Once you get used to it, it's not bad. Yeah. It's not bad. Yeah. All right, that's one's got to go. So we are going to go and take a break. We're going to play some dad jokes, and we'll come back on the other side of the break with waste spots of the week and call of the week. See you on the other side.
This is Darker Solstice, and you're listening to the Wayspotters podcast.
This is Elf from Space, and you're listening to the Wayspotters podcast. The podcast that brings a whole new meaning to the phrase, stop everything.
While you're waiting for your health to restore in Monster Hunter Now, you could be listening to the Wayspotters podcast.
Season 5 of Dad Jokes. You guys keep encouraging him. This is why we can't have nice things.
I told my suitcase that we weren't going on vacation this year. Now, I have emotional baggage. My doctor told me I was going deaf. That was really hard to hear. I tried nominating a ghost-type waste spot, but it kept getting rejected. I guess it didn't have enough spirit. I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. Why did the Pokemon Go trainer bring a ladder to the raid? He heard the boss was high level. I'm on a seafood diet. Seafood, I eat it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Wayspotters podcast. You've got Jamal, you've got Chris, you've got episode 209, aka season 5, episode 1. And for the first Wayspot of the week, Chris, let's go ahead and play the jingle. Let's jump right into Wayspot of the week.
This is Elf from Space, and here's another Wayspot of the week, which is probably another two-story mural.
So Wayspot of the week number 1. This one comes from, I don't remember who it comes from. This might come from me. I'm not exactly sure.
It's from Charlotte, so it's probably
yours.
yours.
On our list. I think this is mine. This one is called The History of the Commonwealth Site. So commercial development at the hub of Commonwealth Avenue dates back to coal manufacturing, who built seed planters in the early 1900s, and there's a little more there. So what this is think of what we've talked about on the last couple of shows of notice boards and like restaurants and things. This is a notice board on Commonwealth Street, which is in central Charlotte, and it gives the history of the area. So there's a neighborhood over there, and if you kind of zoom into it, it's little landmarks like on copper, and there's pictures in the background, and it talks about historical things that have happened on Commonwealth Street. And they're building a new development there, and this is going to be kind of the centerpiece of the neighborhood and the history, because in Charlotte, they are knocking down 100-year-old buildings and they're putting up 3-story condos, and like the history, they're sucking the soul out of the city. So I'm glad to see them doing something like this. So the reason why I wanted to highlight this as Wayspot of the Week, it's a cool Wayspot, but it's a way for people to take an area of their city that's being redeveloped and kind of find a diamond in the rough that's going to be there forever and ever and ever, and make it a POI, and they can also go and learn something from it. So that's why this is Wayspot of the Week to me.
Any point of interest, any Wayspot that is nice to look at and teaches you about history or nature or whatever, slam dunk. Absolutely. I absolutely love this stuff. This to me is what Wayfarer is all about, is educating and drawing you into places that are great to visit, because this is a fantastic, right? And like a lot of people who play these games and do Wayfarer weren't around to see that. And you go see that, oh, you're gonna nominate this, is like all that stuff in Plattsburgh that I talk about all the time, like all the history about the Civil War that I learned from those plaques.
Yes,
I wouldn't have learned that. I wouldn't have been walking there if it wasn't for Wayfarer and for Pogo. So stuff like this is fantastic. All right, let's jump into Wayspot of the Week number 2.
This is Elf from Space, and here's another Wayspot of the Week, which is probably another two-story mural.
This is called the Puff Mural, spray painted mural at the Puff local business. This is one of those ones that I love because it's a really, really good way to get a local business on the map. And it is a spray painted mural of a woman with her hair kind of flowing out to the side, and it's all a bunch of different rainbow colors. And right in front of them, it looked like there's a bunch of vibrant pastel colored plants, I guess they are. Like leaves, giant leaves of plants, and there's blue and there's green and there's red, and it's just, it pops. And it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous mural. And this woman's kind of dead center right at the back of it. And I don't know, I could take a guess as to what this local business is, being called the Puff. But this is absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous mural.
Yep. The title, or not the title, the description could be a little better.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to nitpick. I'm not going to nitpick.
Yeah. The fact that they were able to accomplish that with spray paint is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you know something else that is mind-blowing, but not in the good way? It's Coal of the Week.
I've been working on the Wayfarer all the long day. I've been working on the Wayfarer just to pass the... Oh no. Hey Jamal, I found some coal.
So, Call of the Week this week, we've kind of talked a little bit on the show about neighborhood signs. And one of the things that we haven't talked about necessarily were apartment signs. And I think those are much more in a gray area than neighborhood signs, than just an advertisement for an apartment. But again, we can talk about that on a later show. That is not the reason why this one is Coal of the Week. This could be Coal of the Week, being just an apartment sign. But Chris, I want to tell you what it is. So the photo is a probably 2 meter tall, maybe meter and a half tall sign. It's brown wood. And on the front of it in white letters and kind of a weird font says Heritage Grove. And the title and description are Heritage Grove Echelon Road sign. Okay. We're in the gray area where, if you have a good description and a good supporting, you can kind of tell a story and convince me. And I look on the map on the nearby. And again, what's on the map, doesn't dictate what should be on the map. But I see 2 other similar signs that have been approved. Which again is neither here nor there. But what really makes this Coal of the Week, Chris, is the description. And I actually shared this with you on Monday.
Yes.
When we were on our Zoom call. Here's the description. Trainers unite at Heritage Grove! ! This shady haven is perfect for lures, berries, and a quick rest between raids. Don't forget to say hi to your fellow travelers. So, you just took what was already a borderline nomination and you just ruined it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That is, it's, I think what's happened, because I've seen this happen a few times. I think that people think that they can get away with this now that Ingress isn't a problem. But Ickman, Bloom, and Monster Hunter now still exist, so
yes. Exactly.
Sorry?
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
And it was borderline to begin with, and now it's just a no.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it was borderline and you just ruined it. And the problem is this person is not going to get the proper feedback to understand what they did wrong. That's another issue that we've talked about.
Yeah.
They're going to get something that's going to say, invalid description or
bad description.
Yeah. But they're not going to understand why. So anyhow, that's Coal of the Week. You got anything else, my friend?
I do not.
All right. I will go ahead and close us off. So that is going to do it for this episode of Wayspotters. Now, we can't end an episode of Wayspotters without giving some love to the people who make this show possible. So first up is our incredibly wonderful executive producer, KatettheKonz. You rock. I want to give a shout out to all of our amazing patrons. We love you. And, Chris, maybe we'll talk offline on whether we read out a list of patrons like Ken does on his show. We've traditionally not done that, but maybe we do. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But all of our patrons, you know who you are. We try to talk to you on a daily basis. We appreciate you. And of course, I got to give a special shout out to our show historian, Maddie G, who's been keeping the record straight since day one. Now, if you like what you heard, here's a couple of ways that you can stay connected with us. Number one, we're on social. We're on Twitter at Wayspotters. We're on Instagram at Wayspotters Podcast. And we're on TikTok at I Make Wayspots. And Chris, I'm very proud of myself. We had 6 days in a row of a post on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. That's the goal, is to have one social post per day. So when we read this at the end of the show, people can go, oh, they really do post there. We love interacting with you, so don't be shy. Come say hi. Number two, check out our website, wayspotters.com. From there you can download episodes of the show, send us a message, or even shoot us an email at wayspotters@pokemonprofessor.com. 3, we've got a hotline. That's right. You can call us 704-426-3710. Leave us a voicemail and you might just hear yourself on a future episode of the show. Or if you're feeling brave, you can tweet us a voice message. Now, some of you may be watching this on YouTube, and for those of you who are not, you should. And the way you do it is go to our YouTube page, www.youtube.com/@Wayspotters Podcast. And Chris, while the good people are there, what should they do?
Click like on this video. If you really like it, click subscribe and then click the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video.
Number 4, if you want to support the show, the best way is by joining the Pokemon Professor Network Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you'll unlock access to our Discord where you can hang out with fans and creators from all the shows across the Pokemon Professor Network, including Special Conditions, Gotta Watch 'Em All, Purified Podcast, Good Morning Johto, Sleep It Off, After Darkrai, and Lured Up. And of course, your favorite, Wayspotters. It's a fantastic community. We love for you to be a part of it. And finally, the simplest way you can help us grow is to give us a rating on the app that you're listening to or watching right now. 5 stars really helps the show. And if your podcatcher lets you leave a written review, do it, and one of us will read it right here on the show. And that's all we've got for this week. Thank you so much for listening and being the best part of the Wayspotters family. We'll be back next week with more stories, more nominations, and more fun. And remember, what's a few meters between friends?